So this goes over there. Okay, I think I got it. There we go. Just gonna make sure I can see chat. There we go. Alright, I was confused. Seems to be dialed now. I had no clue what I was doing, but I think we got it working. A few minutes late. Fashionably late, as some would say. Alright, so beginning. I got my little sticky note of terrible writing that I should have wrote better than this. But let's see, we got this list to go through. I gotta figure out all the on-screen stuff for this. This is stuttering. This is my second stream, so first one alone though. So we're gonna see if we can make this happen. So we got the very first thing to start with is like the whole trip and the whole story, because it goes like it's just the weirdest thing. So obviously I don't get stuck. So like when I get stuck, it's a big deal because you know I'm a pro driver. And basically the trip started off really smooth, and when it went bad was literally when I was heading back to the road. It all went sideways the whole trip, but it went sideways a little bit and it was fine. It was like off-road stuff, so it didn't really matter. But then my four-wheel drive broke and it just went out the window. So nice bumper, thanks buddy. Get something like that for my truck. Yeah, I like it. It's heavy duty, custom built. I got it off somebody, but I didn't build it. Yeah, but I like it too. Steph, thanks. Vom. Okay, so back to it. So 7 people helped me on this trip. Helped me in some way. And how it happened was the first time I got stuck, like I said, if you watch the video, I was heading over my own tracks. So to me, you drive one way, you'd think following your own tracks because you already drove it, it'd be safe. But to my surprise, it was not safe. So I drove through going slow because I didn't know that I was going to drop into a pit, especially one that swallows 37s. So I was going slow. All of a sudden, me and Alec, we just drop. And it was like, what just happened? Like it was and we just instantly stopped moving. It was like drop and that was it. There was no chance. We were instantly stuck. Like the rear diff was under the ground. Like it was just crazy bad luck, I guess you could say. And from that point, what happened was we were sitting there for a little bit. All of a sudden, Teddy, he came. He was watching me go by. I saw him. I waved at him. And then like 2 seconds later, I got stuck. So he heard me, I think, and then he came over and offered to help me. And I was like, yeah, man, like I really appreciate that. Because I was like, there's no way I'd dig out of that either without getting super dirty and going under the truck. So he came and helped me, and it was actually his first time like going off road with his like new TRD. So it was like the first thing, he shows up and I'm stuck and he pulled me out. So it was pretty funny. But yeah, unfortunately Alec missed the clip. It's all good. It happens. And basically what happened was we did a lot of attempts, but I needed like a real like slack the line and just give her like 3 times. And that pulled me out slowly each time because my truck's so big. I've been through this before on the 33s when I got stuck like 2 years ago. It's just big truck. You need that huge like pull. You can't just do like the little where you like make sure it's tight and then you go, like that won't work. So I needed like a huge tug 3 times, and then I got out of that. So we're moving forward now. We got out of the pit. We're back on the road. Now when I drove out of off the flats back to the road, I was still in 4-wheel drive. So at this point, like I'm not doing anything hard, but I know for a fact if I was in 2-wheel drive, like if my 4-wheel drive wasn't working, I wouldn't have been able to get back to the road. So what I did was all of a sudden I'm going up a hill because I put it back in 2-wheel. So I pulled you out with my Jeep with 1 pull though. Okay, that's different. I don't even know what to say about that. We don't talk about that one because that never happened. Yeah, so I'm going up the hill. I switched it to two wheel. I always drive FSRs in two wheel. I don't know. I just prefer it. Um, so I'm in two wheel drive, and I'm like, oh yeah, we'll go up this hill in two wheel. It's gonna be hard and blah blah blah. So this was like a little hill leaving Stave. So I'm like, oh dang, we actually can't get up this hill because it's like pure ice, right? So then all of a sudden, I switch it in four wheel drive, and nothing happens. And at this point, I'm like, okay, we can still get out of here, but we're gonna have to make sure we get like runs at the hills. Like knowing there's a hill, we gotta carry speed. So Mazda could have made it up the hill. That's true, actually, probably over my truck. So all of a sudden, I know my four wheel drive's not working. I don't get out because I don't really like. I'm like, whatever. It's snowing. It sounds bad. Like there's a metal sound. It's like binding. So I was like, okay, something's obviously broken. So there's no point of going out and trying to fix anything. And from that point, we see this massive hill coming, and we're like, okay, we got to get some speed and we got to carry ourselves up this thing in one shot, or it's not going to happen. So we're making it up the hill. All of a sudden, halfway, I just can't move anymore. I'm just spinning in one spot. I'm like, uh-oh. So I halfway up the hill, it was pretty steep too, and I go up the hill. I'm like, hey, can't move. Now I got to go backwards down the hill, which is pretty sketchy. It was a steep hill. Luckily, braking this whole time was fine, so I wasn't too scared about any of that stuff. But I went to. There's two options. You got a fork in the road, and one way is the FSR where we came from, and one way is this guy's gate, like his gated property or something. Yeah, I actually should have went reverse. That would have been a good idea. Gee. Yeah, so there's a fork, and my whole truck, every window's covered in mud, snow, water, grease, everything. You can imagine potato chips, like there's stuff everywhere. So I'm going in reverse. I can't see anything. I mean, I can see out my back window. I can still see enough, but all of a sudden, I miss both ways, and all of a sudden I end up in like the packed snow, sitting there. Now I'm a sitting duck because I'm stuck in the packed snow with a rock under my rear wheel. But I chose the lane that went towards this guy's gated property rather than the FSR. So this is where it gets like just out of control. So I'm sitting there stuck. First of all, a Subaru comes out of this guy's gated property. She just goes past me like whatever. I'm like, sorry, I can't move. I'm stuck. So she goes past, and then I'm like, the only option we have is waiting for somebody to help us. So all of a sudden, super nice guy in a Dodge Ram fam, obviously. He works at that property with the gate. So he comes out. He can't even get around me because I'm blocking it, and he was leaving to go home. So now I'm blocking this guy's way, which is super rough. I had no intentions of that at all. Like I felt bad for all this too, by the way. Like I don't like to be a liability out there, but it happens. And so he comes up behind me, and I'm like, hey man, sorry, like I'm stuck. Is there any chance you could give me a pull back? So he pulls me back closer to his gate. His gate was open, but it's a reference. So he pulls me to his gate, and it's all good. I'm free, but obviously fresh ice again. I can't move. So now I'm sitting there again. Now this time I'm on the middle of the road, so the guy who wanted to leave can't even leave because I'm blocking the exit. So I'm just sitting there spinning. All of a sudden I get out of my truck, and I was like, I don't know what are we gonna do or whatever, and my truck starts sliding by itself. And all of a sudden, the guy hops in his Ram and just rips down the hill. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm pushing my truck over, and I was like pushing with my hands. It wasn't doing anything, obviously. So I was like, quick hop in the truck and slam on the brakes, like park something. But it stopped. Like it barely slid, so it wasn't like that scary. But it definitely scared me. Liability on the ice, yeah. My job too. All right. So I'm rolling backwards, and I stop. So we're all good again. Now at this point, guys, Alex standing at the road waiting for somebody to go by. We're like hidden. So we're like people can't even see us unless they're coming from from the hill down. So we're hidden, and what happened next? So now this is where it gets interesting. We had one guy in a Pathfinder, a newer Pathfinder, and he came with a tow strap, and he tried to pull me out in four-wheel drive. He got me like 5 feet forward, 10 feet forward, around there. That's all he could get me. Then he was getting stuck on the ice, and he went into the snowbank to get some grip, and he was all good. But he's like, dude, I can't do any more than that. I'm like, no, that's all good, man. He offered to stay around and made sure I was like able to get out. So he actually waited around for me, and he waited there. And then super lucky timing, a guy with chains comes by on his rear tires. So chains on the rear, nothing on the front. I'm like waving him down. I'm like, dude, can you just pull me up this hill like real quick? He's like, yeah, for sure, man. And it was perfect. He hooked me up, pulled me right up the hill with ease, all because of those chains. So I think I gotta get chains. That's the first thing. But yeah, he pulled me to the top of the hill. Pretty funny now because he pulls me up there. I make it to the top. He unhooks me at the top of the hill, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go back down and grab your buddy Alec." So he heads down the hill again, and I'm like, "Oh, you want me to just keep going?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." So I can't even move. Insta stuck when he lets me go. So I'm sitting there, like on the slightest incline, and I'm sitting there stuck, and I'm like, I gotta wait for this guy again, and he's gotta hook up to me again. It was a pain. I was at 25 psi on this trip. I usually go to 18 for like hard rocks and stuff, but 25 on this one, so I didn't have to air up as much because my compressor's been acting funky. But yeah, so I was at 25. I was slipping. No four-wheel drive this whole time, so we got to keep that in mind. And then from that point, the guy goes down. He comes back. All of a sudden, a Ford Bronco pulls up. I'm like, Ford Bronco. I didn't know anything of it at the time because I guess it's Sean got a new Ford Bronco, but I didn't know it was him. And then he pulls up next to me. I'm holding my tow strap at the front of my truck. It was pretty funny. I got my tow strap like fully extended. It looks like I'm pulling my truck with my feet. And he's like, "Hey, Brennan, how's it going?" And I'm like, "No way. This is hilarious." So now Sean and Casey pull up. If you guys don't know who they are, Sean is the story till now. Casey is Casey250. So both big YouTubers, just out of nowhere, completely unplanned. They pull up to me and they're like, "Hey, dude, like, do you want us to help?" And I was like, "Yeah, like I'm completely stuck on flat ground, believe it or not." So I was stuck, and they helped me. Sean pulled me out of that little spot, and they pulled me up every hill the whole way out. And basically, the guy with the chains came back, and I was like, "Yeah, like we're all good." Like, cause everybody who helped me up to this point, like the three guys, we had two guys who were going into Stave. So the last thing I wanted to do was like people help me who are actually going to Stave still. Like they don't even get to go and they're already helping a goofball. So at least somebody who's leaving could leave with me. So Sean and Casey hooked me up on every hill, and like basically I was behind them and they just went with me the whole way out. So I was super grateful for that. Like I was super happy that somebody sticked with me the whole time. And that's basically the story. And on the way out, there's even more that happened. We were sitting behind two people. Somebody was in a two-wheel drive Ford F-150, like two-wheel drive, not four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive on sheer ice. He ditches it. Like I don't even know how he got it in the ditch, but he did. And then they're using a ratchet strap to pull, and obviously the ratchet strap blows up in like 0.2 seconds. So we're sitting there watching this, and then eventually they got out of the way. And I can't do anything. I'm sitting in two-wheel drive as well. Unplanned though. So, oh, it was a crazy trip for my first time in the snow. But this is exactly how it works. So now I know I need chains, and I need to go with friends, which I already knew that. But I guess Teddy didn't get my invite. You guys complaining. But this is also leading me to another topic, because everybody that saw me stuck helped me. And I've been in the off-road community for a long time, but Alec is new to the off-roading. He's just comes with me and stuff. He doesn't have his own stuff. But what Alex said was, dude, it's crazy that everybody like helps. He said it's crazy that like nobody complained. Everyone's like, yeah, sure, we'll help you out. Like I didn't come across a single person who wouldn't help me. So that just shows like even though like Stave itself has a bad reputation for being like bad and like full senders and whatnot and the whole thing, but the people there, everybody helped me. Everybody like yeah, no man left behind. Exactly. It was so cool to see that clearly like the off-road community is really good. Like I've never had an issue with anybody like being like, dude, you're an idiot, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, everybody's trying to help. Like, everybody who helped me, like, tried to. Like, they didn't just go, oh yeah. Like, they moved me a foot and they're like, yeah, see, I gotta go. Like, everybody tried, and it was so cool to see. Cause I do like, I'm not one of those guys who won't either. Like, I've helped people plenty of times. Like, pulling people out for random reasons. Like, I'm one of the guys who will help. So to get it in return, it was awesome, and I can't thank everybody enough. I only got Teddy's name, Sean's name, Casey's name, and there was still 4 other people. I'm not sure what their names were, but I don't know if you guys see this or if you guys watch the video. Thank you guys so much. Again, I appreciate it for your efforts and helping me wasting all your time. But I appreciate it. So basically that's the trip and summed up. Let me see my 6 sticky note. So stuck in the mud, stuck in the FSR, some people saved me. Yeah, the 4x4. So the 4x4 was broken. We skimmed over that a little bit. It was a CV axle, but I didn't really look. But from the cab, it sounded like it was under me. So I went out and I looked at my T case. I looked at my front drive shaft. Like I looked at that stuff, but it just didn't seem like a CV because like the CV was still, it looked intact. I just glanced at it. I was like, oh, it's not that, it's not that. But I could hear metal and I didn't have 4-wheel drive. So basically it was broken. The CV was broken. It's super easy fixed. I fixed it last night. It took me like a half hour. I'm like a professional now. But I got 2 extended travel ones from Track Motive. So each side should be durable now. We shouldn't have any issues. I hope it's okay. I mean, if I keep breaking them, I'm gonna have to agree with what everybody says. The big tires on stock axle. I just don't want to admit that. So we'll see. Let's see what's chat going about here. Damn YouTubers just don't share spots. No man left behind. Yeah. Yeah. So the usually run on 15 and 2500. 15 psi. I'm like scared to go past 18. I just feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm scared to. I've never gone past it. I feel like it's too low because I almost debeated my rim in one of my other off-roading videos. I believe it was going up to. I was at Harrison or something. But yeah, I almost debeated it and I was like scared. But 4x4 broke. So we'll go on to the damage report because there's more than just what you think. So we got the CV axle snapped. As you guys saw in the video, my fender hit the side of the dirt there, but that's not what really messed it up. When I opened my door, I had no clue that the fender was dented in, so I was like tugging my door. Like I was like, why isn't it opening? Is there just dirt in my door? So I was jamming it. I was like, I can barely get out of my truck, and I just wasn't thinking about hitting anything. And then I got out and I looked at my fender. I was like, oh, okay, so my fender's mangled. There's actually like a dent as well on the top, and then I had to pry it out from the door. But that fender was the rusty one, and it's always been brutal, so I don't really care about it. What else we got? There's 4 things. There's the fender, the CV axle, tail lights. So, as you guys know, I got new tail lights, and because of the spinning and nothing in the way, it's just pure spinning dirt right onto the tail lights. Usually when these trucks come stock, they have like stuff in the way, so you can't, your lights don't get covered in dirt. But the one I siliconed was fine. but the other one I haven't siliconed it yet, and it was full of water after that trip. So obviously spraying water, dirt, all that stuff right at the taillights wasn't ideal. So I do have to reseal the left one. The right one seems okay. But yeah, they're definitely not perfect. They still always have water and, or not water, but condensation inside them every morning. So I gotta do a better job of that. And then the fourth thing was the tire. If you guys saw that, you could see there was some air coming out of the tire. When I got home, my tire was at like 30. I was like, I swear I filled this one. So I started pumping air back into it, and then it started leaking out the bead in like 4 different spots. So I was like, it's got to be like my rim's fine, my tire's fine that I can see. So it has to be something to do with dirt or something. So I messaged some of my buddies and they helped me out, and they told me that it's probably just needs to be reseated and stuff. So I brought it the next day. I took it off my truck, or no, took it off my truck, put the spare on. To my surprise, my spare doesn't fit on the front, so I had to go spare to the rear, rear to the front, and then I took it to the my place that I always go for tires. Their Tire Craft in Port Kells, I believe. Awesome place. Like best tire place I've been to, hands down. And I've been to a lot trying to get help, and like I've been to a bunch of them. And but Tire Craft's the best. They always treat me like super well there. They're awesome. If you guys ever need your tires done, Tire Craft Port Kells, baby. Super nice guys. So they fixed it for me, and now we're all good. I got it back on my truck. And that's the end of the damage report. So 4 different things that day. I was like, what is going on? My truck's falling apart. But that's normal after an off-road trip with me. Alright, so we got the Ram Performance. So we've got to talk about that a little bit, because there's some clips where I didn't make stuff. And I'm still learning about off-roading and stuff. So what I realized was, when I run at hills like that, like dirt hills, the more I sit there and spin, the worse it makes it. So when I was watching it back, I was like, dude, I'm a clown, because every time I sit there, I dig myself a deeper hole. So I don't know why I'm doing that. I just gotta go at the run at it and then no wheel spin, because in all of those things, the only reason I couldn't do it after a while is because I kept making massive 37-inch ruts in the ground that I can't even get out of anymore. So bad driving. Also, I know G's gonna love this, I wasn't in 4 low until later. I don't know why, I totally forgot about 4 low again. So you guys are gonna like that, because I've done that before, but I put it in 4 low. I totally remembered, and then the truck was performing better. But in the first video, until the video, or yeah, in the video, you can hear me say I made it up in 4 low. That was the very first clip, very first spot I was using it. So before that, I was in 4 high again. I don't know why. I just can't. I just get so excited, and I'm like, 4-wheel drive, but I don't put it in 4-wheel drive low, which is actually the good one, unfortunately. So yeah, let me see. But I thought I still need to do some more mods and stuff, but I thought the overall performance was pretty good in the snow, because like I said, I've never gone snow wheeling before, and I thought the Ram did really well. Like, it was getting through some thick snow. It was trying everything. It got stuck by accident. Had I gone full speed at that pit, maybe I could have made it. But I guess we'll have to save that for another video. I thought it did pretty well though. It performed well. It did well the whole day. Once I made it back to the FSR was when it broke. So yeah, it was a crazy day, guys. It was just insane. The whole thing, like, I was supposed to be home at like 2:30ish, and I got home at like 4:35, if I remember correctly. It was just a wild trip, but it was a lot of fun. And I wasn't even gonna go, and this trip was planned 11 o'clock the night before. Like, me and my buddy Alec, I was just messaging him, and we were like, are we going? Like, I don't know. And I was like, I don't know, like, I don't have anybody to go with, like, it's too late. like blah blah blah. And then we're like, okay, let's just go. Like, well, we won't even push it hard. We'll just have some fun. And then obviously me, I'd always want to try some stuff. So yeah, that's how it went. It's the way it goes out there. You see all these spots, you just can't resist it. You see a mud hole, you want to go through it. That's just me, I guess. Let's see here. Anything else? Let's see about that trip. Stave's kind of like I've done all those clips before. So all those hill climbs you saw me go up, I did those when in the video where the Ram versus the Jeep, that was the same spots, but this time it was in the snow. So me being a beginner in the snow, I didn't want to go out like in the middle of nowhere, but I wanted to do stuff that I could try that I know is safe. So going in that little stream and coming out of it, I know I wouldn't get stuck. So that's why I was in there. Yeah, G got the message and then left me on red. Hey, what a guy. I try to message people, I just get left on red. Like, you guys see why I go solo. Like, but let's see here. Anything else? I have my notes are all through here, but I know that's probably gonna be it, guys. I think I covered everything I wanted to, and it was just a crazy, wild experience, especially being the first time out. Like, the whole trip as a whole was just a roller coaster. Like, as you guys can see, I like ended the video twice or three times when I thought it was over. It was just, and like, it's hard sometimes. Like, I want to film so I can get a good video, but like also when people are helping you and stuff, like, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, wait 1 sec, like I gotta film this, like, you know, like it just, you gotta go. I'm not gonna sit there and make people wait because I have to film it when they're already helping me. So we just filmed what we could, and that's what we got out of it. But it was crazy. Like, being pulled out of that hole was nuts. Literally though, like, the only thing around me was people filming. Nobody was actually helping me. So like, me and Alec, we were looking in the trees and there's people over there just like with their phone, and I'm like, okay, kind of sick, but like maybe I could also use a hand, you know? but yeah, so I'm lucky I got out of that because there's only one guy who came to help me, and luckily he was the only guy who was close, because everybody else was like a for sure no. Like, another guy was like, dude, I can't go in there, like, no way. But so another guy was there. He's like an experienced off-roader. I didn't catch his name. Super nice guy. But he was like coordinating it. He's like helping us out, so that was good too. Because he was like giving us the signal, like, yeah, go, and like all that stuff. So that helped get me out of there. But yeah, guys, I mean, you live, you learn. That's the biggest thing here. I'm going to go more prepared with some chains. Maybe get an extra CV axle. And just be prepared for that stuff, because going in, I was in two-wheel drive on the FSR the whole way into the flats, and then as I was going out, because I guess going uphill more, but both ways are up and down, so I don't know if it actually got worse so when we went in, like, did it get worse on the way out? Because the roads I could not drive on after that in two-wheel drive. I don't really know what to say about it, but it just didn't. It just set like two-wheel drive the whole way in. Two-wheel drive I couldn't move on the way out, so it must have got worse. Like, that's all I can think of. And this ice, guys, was like sheer flat ice. Like, I was on some ice by my parents' house, and it was like bumpy at least, but this was just flat. Like, you could actually skate on the FSR. I'm not even kidding. No bumps. So no, like, you couldn't get grip. And talking about Sean and Casey again, super nice for all that. Like, even there was some spinning going on going up the hills, like, with them pulling me. Like, it was that bad. Like, the conditions were awful, but it still made for a really good trip. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. Let me think, is there anything else I'm doing? Next video is going to be a Bronco video and the Q&A. So if you guys want to ask any questions, just ask me a question and I'll put it in my next video. But the Bronco's rolling not physically, but like the project's rolling. It's almost rolling physically. I've done so much to that. You made my day. I thought it is going to be a soul boring day for me. Yeah, yeah, Ted. So Ted in the chat here, he's actually the guy who saved me from the mud pit. So that guy's awesome. I really appreciate that. He came over and asked if I needed a hand. I think it was like his third day of owning his 4x4, and it was his first time out. So cool experience for both of us. Yeah, I'm gonna be rolling a Bronco video out here on next Friday, and we've got so much stuff done with that, guys. We got the front diffs completely painted, completely done. New brakes, new brake lines. We got the exhaust going. We got, what else we got? We got shocks. Almost all the shocks are in. I'm waiting on 2 right now. We got the front steering damper, new tie rods, new drag links, frames mint. Like just everything's been changed or fixed. It's just looking really good. So it's gonna be put back on the body after the body work. So it's kind of good timing right now. We're rolling up to when it gets hotter here in BC. So as it gets hotter, welder goes outside. We can do some welding to the body, fix it all up, and then just slap it back on top of the frame. But yeah, the Bronco's coming along, and I hope you guys enjoy those videos too. Those videos are tough because, right, like you'll notice this next video I put out, it's like little clips of little things I've been doing. So I don't even know what to title it, because it's like I did the gas line, I can't remember what I did. The gas line, I did the front like diff stuff. Like it's just like a bunch of random clips put together because none of it is enough to make like a video out of putting the gas lines in. Like it took like 2 minutes, so like you can't even make a video on that. So it's just like gonna be like an update video, I believe, with a Q&A in it. And then moving forward with the Ram, I don't know if I've told everybody this, but I do want to flat deck it because I don't need it, but I love like that uniqueness of it. And I said in the first live stream I did, like, just sticking out from the crowd with the flat deck on a Ram is like nobody else has one. But like I said to you before, is like when I was outside of Canadian Tire, like every time I would leave my truck and come out, people would be like, dude, that thing's sick, man. Like the amount of love I got was crazy. So I'm gonna flat deck this, but also get some better performance out of it too. I'm still not sure if I want to chop the rear frame so I have a better approach or descent angle, approach angle, descent angle, I don't know. But let me know what do you guys think? Should I cut the rear of the frame right behind the tires? But the only thing is if I cut the rear of the frame, I can't tow a trailer anymore. So it takes that away, which if I get my new project, which I'll talk about in a second, we'll talk about that new project. But if I get the new project, then I won't be able to trailer it with the Ram, which would be rough. So I gain a little bit of like descent uphill angle, but I don't think it's worth it because I do need to pull the new project once we get it, because it's going to be a full sender, and I'm glad to bring that back to the channel too. That's going to be insane. Let me see. But yeah, the Ram's going to get flat decked. I'm not sure what I want to do with the flat deck, but we'll see. I'll draw up some kindergarten blueprints again. Could label it fun work on the Bronco. As much as I don't know, it's like, it's weird. Working on the Bronco is like, it is fun, kinda, like deep down it's fun. It's like working on vehicles is what I like to do. But when you're messing around with a 4-piece gasket on an oil pan, I don't know if it would, like, if you could call that fun, because that was so whack. But see, definitely not worth it. Keep the trailer hitch. Yeah, like I have my trailer hitch off, obviously. I put the trailer hitch on if I tow, so I just bolt it up. It's like 4 bolts on each frame piece. But if I cut those bolt or those nuts off the frame and I cut the frame, then I can't tow. So yeah, it definitely makes more sense. Title it Little Clips for Better Rigs. I can't even remember what we were talking about. Oh, Little Clips for Better Rigs. Yeah, the RAM has been tinkered with so much that like I've literally gone over everything. Just but I do like it's like my pride and joy. So is the Bronco. So Bronco's like a crazy project, but this is like I've completely done everything to it that I've wanted to, except flat deck. So we're gonna be doing a lot of custom work too on it. A lot of custom work to it down the road, but it's just I was actually gonna make a video on like having this big of a project being the Bronco. I was gonna make like a separate video just talking about what what it takes to do a project like this, because for me it is like it came into my life and it's been like the center of my life for like the last year. Like it's like everything I talk about, everything I do. Oh, I gotta work on the Bronco. It's just like something so random. Like for me, I'm trying to get this thing running ASAP. Like I'm not trying to wait 5 years. So like whenever I have a chance, I'm out there between work, after work, at night, morning. Like it doesn't matter. Like it's crazy because I never thought this would happen, but like it's literally like my life is the Bronco in the weirdest way. But I might make a video on that, just talking about like what to expect if you want to do like a restoration, because it is crazy and I've learned so much from it. And like just and like when I don't work on it, like let's say I'm or not editing, like let's say I'm just here watching YouTube videos, I literally feel like guilty. I feel like I should be working on it. Like that's always the thing in my head. I'm like, dude, work on the Bronco, like no time off. Yeah, I'll make a video on that because I really would think that would be cool to just talk about how what goes on behind the scenes and how it's such a big part of your life with you without even knowing it. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for the video or the live stream, guys. Thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'm gonna be doing some more live streams. I really have fun with it now. After I figured out how to do it, had a mishap here today, but yeah, that's officially it, guys. Thank you guys for coming in and joining and talking in chat. Nice to meet you guys. And let me see. Yeah, next video will be Friday. I don't think I'm gonna do anything in between that unless I get on a live stream with all my buddies, which is me, G, Teddy, KB Autotech, Kelly. We've been trying to plan a live stream for like ever. So if we can get all four of us on a day that works, we're gonna have like a 4-person live stream. So that would be really cool if we can actually do that. But we've been a lot of talk, no action from the group. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys on Friday for the next upload. If you guys don't know what this video or this live stream's about, make sure you watch the video. It's crazy. It was the most recent one. It was released right before this. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next Friday for the Bronco video. Peace.